My F21 boyfriend 31 withheld information about an STD he has. We have been together for almost 3 months. He was my first sexual partner. We had sex with condoms every time, even though he a lot of times wanted to have sex without condoms. At the beginning I asked him about STDs he has and said he got tested. I gave him oral a couple of times, today again. After that I asked him again if he didn't have any STDs, to which he replied he has HPV. He said he didn't know it could be transmitted orally. I was shocked BC he didn't tell me earlier, and also his little knowledge regarding HPV, since it is, indeed, transmitted also orally. He said men can't get tested and he got it from a previous girlfriend. I am disappointed BC he should have told me, since he even wanted to have sex without condoms. He said he is sorry and should have told me earlier, but I am so mad. First of all, dump his ass. He's a liar who put your health at risk. HPV may be considered just a common bug, but it's also the most common cause of cervical cancer. Second, get tested. Also look into getting the HPV vaccine if you haven't already, assuming it's available to you. Boot him? Like, I know HPV isn't easy high up, that's on the cooties scale, but he still lied. So boots. All the boots. I have boots you can borrow. My 21 boyfriend 31, oh no. He was my first sexual partner. Oh no. Right? I hate how people gloss over the fact that there's a 10-year difference here. And first time experience? Yikes, yikes, yikes. Red flags ahoy. Get out ASAP. 1. A lie of any kind is a good indicator of a bad person. 2. A big lie such as this is particularly unsettling. 3. A big lie that comes from a selfish desire for sexual gratification is a portent of a troubled relationship in the future. 4. Finally, a big lie, motivated by selfish desire for sexual gratification, with no concern for your physical well-being, is unconscionable. Do yourself a favor and find a man who respects you, is honest with you, and wants what's best for you. My 32F husband, 32 meters, just admitted he is behaving selfishly but refuses to change. Is my marriage past saving? Around August I began to experience a depressive episode. I am in therapy and on medication, but I am still struggling with feelings of loneliness and isolation. For a while it seemed things were getting better, not worse. But my husband chose to go to a non-socially distant wedding while I abstained. In our subsequent isolation, I voiced several times that I was really beginning to struggle with dark thoughts again. I asked my husband for some small things: tell me a joke to cheer me up, spend time cuddling with me in the morning, hang out for an hour in between other commitments, and he absolutely lost it on me. He yelled and screamed, and told me I was preventing him from living an independent life. I don't really think that's true. We only hang out 2 to 3 nights a week. I never ask him to cancel plans with his friends, and I mostly just want him to hang out with me while I cook instead of playing video games. Today I finally had a breakdown and cried. I said I feel so alone and isolated, and I keep asking for help and he ignores it. At first he was apologetic and said he wants to help. He admitted he'd been selfish lately, but when I asked what we should do to fix it, he again began yelling at me and accusing me of being over-demanding. I'm beginning to think we're starting on the path to divorce. I've asked if he wants to still work at this relationship and he says yes, but just won't actually do it. Too long didn't read. Am I being too needy for wanting my husband to spend an extra couple of hours with me a week? Should I start preparing for him to leave? Edit: I have a very active social life. Many people are suggesting I need to fix this by getting a better support system outside of my husband. I hang out with friends virtually multiple times a week and I talk to friends daily. I'm not super close with my family, but I have lots of hobbies and interests that also occupy my alone time. I also am on meds and in therapy. I'm literally asking for somewhere between 2 to 5 more hours of time spent together. Are you poor thing? A spouse should be a source of comfort. You're not asking for anything unreasonable here. I'm sorry you're in a dark place. Can you stay with family for a few weeks to get some clarity away from him? Not really. My family really likes him and they just always see our problems as my failures. I just want to stop hurting so much. I feel so guilty for breaking down, but it's just hard. How sad, truly. If my partner had to beg me for attention, then I'd know I was failing somewhere. I'm sorry you're going through this. It doesn't sound like your husband wants to put in the work, for better or for worse, right? He yelled and screamed, and told me I was preventing him from living an independent life. I mostly just want him to like hang out with me while I cook instead of playing video games. So you're cooking his meals while he sits and plays video games, but he's mad at you for infringing on his independence? This man doesn't want a partner, he wants a servant. He doesn't want to support you in your time of need, he wants you to leave him alone except to bring him meals. What would he do if you became ill/injured and needed care? Spoiler, exactly this, because mental illness is illness. You deserve better than this, I hope you see that. Here's my take on it. My boyfriend and I have been struggling with almost exactly this. I've been in a darker place, nothing terrible but insecure in the relationship and overall depressed. I have been wanting/needing some reassurance and physical affection. He got annoyed with it and started to pull away. We had a talk and I told him how I felt, he told me how he felt. Since then, I've been giving him more space and he's been making an effort to be more affectionate. I brought home flowers and my favorite coffee. And, he's a self-admitted emotional dumbass. If he's so unwilling to consider compromise, I don't think he's all the way in the marriage. Sounds like he's 1 foot out the door. Have a serious talk and try to keep it civil. Maybe consider joint counseling sessions. Good luck. His actions are telling you more than his words. Spending 2 to 3 nights a week, especially when you're feeling vulnerable. I've done more for friends and sometimes even acquaintances. This man is just adding problems in your life. He wants to live as a bachelor, you need to let him live his life and why letting him go. My close friend, 23F, is pissed off at me, 22M, because I hooked up with her friend/housemate, 23F. I never thought I'd be posting here, but here goes. A little bit of backstory here. I've met the housemate one time, and the one time I had met her I helped her when she was extremely drunk at the same house 2 to 3 weeks prior. Me and my close friend have been friends for over 3 years. Sometimes for fun we make out at clubs, you know, when they used to be open. So my close work friend invited me over to her place for a very small Halloween gathering which I wasn't going to go to due to being flat out at work that day and having work the next day. But after her saying just to come and have a good night and that her friend, who is also her housemate at the time, wanted me to come, I decided to end up going and have a good night. Well, after I got there and starting drinking and had about a tablespoon of weed oil, we were all just having a good time, chatting, dancing, playing drinking games, etc. A normal small Aussie gathering. Fast forward to about 11:30 and I'm standing at edge of the kitchen bench talking to the housemate while she makes her drink, and before I know it, she is leaning against me while I have my hand around her waist. Then out of nowhere, I looked down at her, she looks up and kisses me. I was a bit confused as from what I had heard was that she was recently single, assumed I was a drunk rebound and was fine with that. However, my close friend didn't see it like that. She told me to quit while you're ahead, so we didn't do it in front of the group. By about 2:30 that morning everyone had gone to bed and it was just me and the housemate still awake. So we decided to open up the sofa bed, watch Jim Jeffries, one of the best comedians BTW, for a bit and sleep on that together. We got to second base before we ended up actually falling asleep. Regardless, we woke up like 3-ish hours later when everyone else was getting up and coming into the living room. I got ready for work and everyone else got ready because they were all going out for breakfast. Lucky me, skeptical. During the car ride to work, the housemate who was sitting behind me was holding my hand the entire way and interlocking fingers, etc. About 30 minutes into my shift, my close friend messages me saying she's going to bring me coffee, which is much appreciated. She comes into the warehouse area at the back of the store where I was working at that point and pulls me into the back room saying, I need to ask you something. It'll take 10 seconds. I had a feeling I knew what it was about as soon as I saw her face. She asks me as soon as I enter the back room, did you sleep with housemate's name / I responded no. She looked at me with a look that asked me if I was lying, which I confirmed I wasn't. Then she asked me, did you kiss housemate's name / which I responded with yes. before you told me not to, which then escalated to yes I was the whole night. She responded by storming off. On Tuesday I decided to message my close friend privately and in a group chat we're both in. In the group chat, she responds to me normally, but in private she was fucking pissed, saying things like I don't know, are we cool, why am I pissed off, etc. The last message I received, and haven't opened yet, after telling her why she was pissed off is, after I told you not to, now I have no idea how to handle this and need some advice here. My sister told me just to apologize and that we'll get things back to normal. This doesn't feel right, especially if I make out with the housemate again. My guy mates who I have told said to just wait it out because I have done nothing wrong. I want to keep mucking around with the housemate, but I also don't want to shut out one of my close friends. Is there a way for both to keep happening? Edit, responded to my friend about it. Tried to figure out why exactly she is upset and she is now saying she is over it. It's all good, forget about it. Skeptical. Edit 2. So I had a phone call with my close friend and we talked about it and worked it out. She was really mad because I originally said I didn't hook up with the housemate and lied straight to her face. I apologized for lying straight to her face. As for why she said to stop originally, apparently she didn't care that I hooked up or slept next to the housemate. It was more so because the housemate was technically still in a relationship, which they since ended, and she was in a vulnerable state. As for the housemate, I started talking to her as well to make sure we are all good and to apologize to her as well, and we have been casually chatting for the past 2 hours. Even I can tell she likes one of you. You need to clear that up because saying sorry won't help if she thinks you're together but not officially. Me and my close friend have been friends for over 3 years. Sometimes for fun we make out at clubs. Most friends don't just make out for fun. She likes you. I want to keep mucking around with the housemate, but I also don't want to shut out one of my close friends. Is there a way for both to keep happening? Nope. Pick one because odds are you won't get to fuck the housemate and keep your friend. My advice is to set some actual, clear boundaries. Yeah, of course you are her friend, but you're also a dude that likes to make out with her from time to time. I think it's weird that people are framing this like she just randomly decided to get in your business about who you are or not dating. If you guys are involved like you're saying you guys are involved, then I think it's a huge overstepping of boundaries to be messing with her roommate as well. She likes you, or the housemate.